Let's talk some commodities as crude continues its climb back towards highs. Today, even natty gas got a lift, and it's also trying to turn around. Both up, but natty gas still well off its highs. Scott Bauer is with the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, crude oil on the move. Is there hope for natty gas too?
I think natty gas is the tag along today, and I'm not real bullish. And let me just state that I was long and wrong natty gas probably 2 months ago. The charts right now look pretty bad, actually. Not just the charts, but the whole macro environment for natty gas. We're coming in. The February contract is actually what's trading now. So if you look at that, we're actually coming towards maybe the latter end of the winter, of the cold season here. So if you look at that dynamic of it, to me, that's very bearish for natural gas. I know we got a nice run up today here, but this 405 level seems to be a little bit of a magnet here. There is a gap fill below at 390, but really all the way down at 350, Oliver, is where the next big support area is. So I would be looking down there. I'm just not seeing what the catalyst could be for the upside here in natty gas. Again, I think it's just tagging along with the move in oil today.
Okay, even sub-freezing temperatures in Chicago, and I guess expected priced in. There can't possibly be any surprise that it gets cold here during the winter. So I guess natty gas needs something new for the story, whereas crude is just seemingly kind of our almost recovery commodity in a way.
It really is. And when you talk about, natty gas needing something, well, there's a lot of things there for crude. Number one, you have kind of this overall feeling that Omicron is not going to slow down economies and not going to slow down demand all over the world. So when you couple that with actually some limited supply, OPEC actually not producing as much as they said that they would, and you kind of look at that supply and demand dynamic here, and you can see why there's a big tailwind. In crude, you can see why there's this continuation to the upside. Then you throw in some of the other macro or geopolitical events, like what's going on in Libya and Ecuador, where they've got some drilling offline here, and there's partial supply disruptions, and you put all that together here, and yeah, you could see crude continuing. Now, I am certainly not in the camp of a Goldman Sachs or some of the others that say we're going to see $100 a barrel crude here. But I do think that the continuing trend, at least for probably this quarter, is to the upside, and 85 certainly to me makes a lot of sense.
All right. Nice message for crude bulls who hung around during a pretty sharp dip when Omicron first hit. So the ability for crude to bounce back, I mean, we went from 80 to 65 in a hurry. It was like 3 days. So it certainly is not immune to big volatility. But as far as assets bouncing back from recent vol, one could argue crude is as strong as any of them. I mean, you still got some major carnage in pockets of the tech category and the stock market. So I guess crude is kind of carving out its own place as some kind of a hedge, inflation hedge after all.
Absolutely. And then, EIA also just came out also, and they expect global demand for petroleum products this year to return very quickly to pre-pandemic levels. So you've got all these dynamics working in favor of crude, and quite frankly, just kind of, if nothing else, putting what I think is a floor in the price of crude, maybe a little bit sub 80, maybe 78-ish or so. But boy, oh boy, I mean, again, for the short term here, you got to like this space.
All right. Scott Bauer with the Energy Take. Good energy for an energy take. Thank you, Scott, CEO, Prosper Trading Academy. Good stuff.